All right, y'all. What's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back. I'm back, y'all. Back with another video. Forgive me if I'm a little rusty. This feels kind of weird. It's been like 2 weeks since my last video and live stream. But hey, I'm back in the building, y'all. Thanks for everybody's well wishes and everything for what I've been going through. I appreciate that. But we'll talk a little bit about that later. Right now, we getting right back into this, man. Let me see if I can shake this cage and ring rust off. But it's going down, y'all. UFC 298, February 17th. We got some strawweight action. Tatiana Suarez is going to be taking on Whaley. No, she ain't taking on Whaley. She's taking on Amanda Lemos. That's right, y'all. She's taking on Amanda Lemos. I know some fans, y'all are pouting out there. Y'all don't want to see this fight. Y'all feel like Suarez deserves a title shot. If they gave her the title shot, fine. I'd be cool with that. But hey, I think they got plans for the champ right now. Like I said, they're looking at money, and they also looking at a legit contender for her. Not saying Suarez is not legit, but in my opinion, I think it's fine if Suarez gets in another fight. So until then, Suarez will be taking on Lemos next year. First to the top off the year, man. I mean, matchmaking wise, this could be an interesting fight. It could turn into something, crazy. It could turn into something explosive. But I do think style wise, it wasn't really a fight that I was talking about. Like, if it came down to it, Lemos was a name we throwing out there, but it wasn't really a fight y'all heard me mention where I was like, okay, this is what they need to do. Because I was thinking of other matches they need to make. I was like, okay, Suarez, there's some other names out there, which I'll mention here in a minute, that'll work for her. Lemos, she might need to fight down because she got embarrassed against Whaley. No lie, right? But real quick, as y'all know, Suarez, she made a return this year at 125, finishing off Montana De La Rosa. And then she went right back down to 115, took on Andrade after Werner Generoba pulled out. She finished both of them fighters. So she got in a couple of good tune-ups. But I kept thinking maybe she needs one more go-round against a solid strawweight. Andrade is dangerous, but she was on a losing streak. So I said, you know what? Werner Generoba was looking like a legit opponent for her that could give her a test because, Verna as well, she's been looking good, and she put together 2 good wins. Angela Hill and Marina Rodriguez, she's been looking sharper. So I said, okay, that's a style matchup that might benefit Suarez in the long run to get to a title shot, all right? In the meantime, Amanda Lemos, she went on a 2-fight finish streak as well before meeting the champ and getting dominated from 1-5. So, now she's trying to make her comeback, against a possible contender. So, really, honestly, my thoughts on this one, like I said, it could be a banger. But there was a few matches I wanted to see. Like I said, I think it would have been more. It would have been more logical to reschedule Werner Generoba for Suarez because Werner Generoba, she's coming back early this year too. They already matched up against Lupi since they kind of acknowledged each other and they wanted to make that fight. But I thought that they would have went with the first fight. Werner versus Suarez, right? That's what it should have been to me. Again, that's a legit fight for her. I think Werner brings that ground and grappling threat that would have pushed Suarez like the champ will if she was to get past her. I know Marina, she called for that fight too. So I thought, hey, Marina Rodriguez is calling for a fight, so maybe even squeeze her in. But you know what? People really would have cried about that one. So I like Marina, but maybe Marina versus Lupi would have been a good fight for her to kind of work on her takedown defense and so on. Lemos versus Ibas, that's a good one. Ibas just beat Luana Pinheiro, so why not make that fight? But, oh, well, they're not making any of those fights. Now we're looking at Suarez versus Lemos. So when it comes down to it, man, Suarez, she's one of the most powerful strawweights in UFC strawweight history to me. I think that if she never had that layoff, she would have had that belt by now. Like, if she never went on that layoff from 2019 on, I believe she would have been holding that belt right now. She's dominant in her specialty, but she's been making that addition with her striking, keeping her range, working on her footwork. Still a little bit slow, but I think she's been working on certain things like that. Still really hasn't had her chin tested. So this might be the fight for that. So adding that kickboxing into her arsenal, I think it is going to make her a little bit more dangerous because even though her go-to is wrestling and that clinch and the physical type of fight, having the fundamentals of striking is important for her. So she knows and understands what her opponent is going to do, right? Makes sense. Amanda Lemos, we know she has that power, but I keep thinking, as of lately, she's just been too power dependent. She's been too dependent on that power. She's got 2 finishes, of course, leading up to the champ. But even in those fights, like she really wasn't setting the power up, like she should. And even Waterson, I believe Michelle Waterson did take her down in that fight. Even though she got the submission win, Waterson was able to take her down. So the lack of movement on her feet and swinging too big could leave her a sitting duck for Suarez. So some changes have got to be made. Some changes have got to be made in this fight with Lemos. Same changes I said before. She's got to be a rhythmic puncher in there. She has to be a rhythmic striker where she's, pity-patting a few times or just, throwing out some feelers, blinding her opponents with the jabs and so on, and then throwing the right hand down the pipe. Not just throwing wild left hooks or, leaning off balance with the overhand right or, putting too much power where she's off balance and then boom, she's getting taken down. You know what I mean? So those are the changes that she has to make as far as like a kickbox. She's got to be a little bit lighter on her feet. Like I know she likes to sit down on these punches, but when you're dealing with these big physical fighters like Weili and Tatiana Suarez, they rely on timing. Like they expect this. Even Carla Esparza to a certain extent, like she could probably get Lemos down if she could avoid the shots. Like the more and more I study these fights and these bad habits of some of these fighters, like Carla Esparza could get Amanda Lemos down. People are going to get mad about that, but that's a fact right there. Like if she can time the big punches, she'll get her down. Like if she ain't expecting that, that level drop like she's been doing and she's been doing for years, like she can get taken down. So believe me, Suarez will get her down the minute she swings for the fences. So everything Lemos has to throw in this fight, it has to have like a rhythm to it, an awkwardness to it, and it's got to have precision to it. It's got to have good timing. It can't be them wild shots. So really, once you look at this fight, what it comes down to is striker versus wrestler. I think Lemos, she's been working hard in the gym, working on her takedown defense, working on her grappling as well. But this is a fight where she's got to rely on her strengths, which I think is her footwork. Well, is her stand-up game. Throwing in better footwork and establishing a jab in this fight is going to be very important. Like, if it gets to the ground, of course she's got the jiu-jitsu. Like, she's got the ability to find the opening and submit Suarez. Like, she has that, but that's too much of a gamble. To me, it's too much of a gamble to let the fight go to the ground. I think it's wiser for her to stay on the feet where we already know she has more power than Suarez and she has a better right hand and she has, to a certain extent, trickier boxing than Suarez, right? But she's going to have to add them little things, like I said, the footwork to it. The Lemos fight, opened my eyes up to a lot of different things, like the IQ. She just didn't have it in there where it should have been in her mind to take a page out of Rose's book and say, oh, you know what, Weili is her kryptonite, or her trouble is footwork. Like when you stay in these wrestlers' ranges or these big physical strong fighters' ranges, they're gonna want to take you down. They ain't gonna want to dance with you. So when you see a fighter like Rose just kind of getting the respect to Weili off of the feet, that's where you should say, oh, maybe I should do that. I got the power, so maybe I should just dance around a little bit, set her up, frustrated, then boom, I can land a big shot. But she didn't really do that. She didn't really even try to set that up in the Weili fight. So again, she's gonna have to treat this fight like the rematch. She's gonna have to treat this Suarez fight like the rematch. Even more so, where she's gonna have to stay away from the clinch in the takedown zone of Suarez. Takedown defense has to be important, and this fight just has to be pure stand-up here. I don't think, she'll survive on the ground here, because even if she has the jiu-jitsu, I think that Suarez has the physical strength to neutralize and, control this fight all across the board for 3 rounds on the ground. Even if she doesn't like finish Lemos, she could 30-27 Lemos, unless Lemos stays on her feet in this fight and just tries to be a little bit more fluid. But yeah, man, should be a good fight. I could see this fight ending in the finish. It won't go 3. It could go in the 3rd and get and end in the finish. But we'll see. We'll see how Lemos does as far as her durability. Will she stay away, or will she just have the survival skills, to just survive on her back and get drowned again? We'll see. I'm hoping that she's stepping it up, but I'm really hoping that she's stepping it up as far as her volume and her pacing with her striking. Stop looking for the big punches. Stop looking for the big punches. They'll come. Suarez, I want to see how, you know, her defense is looking in this fight. I want to see another level to her as well if she has to show it, because, you know, I just want to see her go in there and look next level to where we can say, okay, yeah, she's ready for the title. And that's all I'm saying. That's why I wanted to see her do another fight. Like, her and Yan Jana could have happened. That's fine. I just felt like, you know, the Andrade fight wasn't really like a good introductory back into 115, because Andrade was just not Andrade at the time, you know. So either if they gave her Verna Jandiroba, now they're giving her Lemos, it should be a, you know, a good matchup for Suarez to see, you know, what type of adjustments she'll make in the fight. But that's all I got on this, guys. Just wanted to come through and discuss the fight a little bit with y'all. I'm coming back, y'all. I'm coming back with videos. I got them lined up. And I'm going to be jumping on live this Friday as well as Saturday, you know, to call that UFC 296 card. So, yeah, again, appreciate everybody, you know, support. And, you know, if y'all haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Let me know y'all thoughts on this fight coming up, Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out. Peace.